It's 4:30 right now. Firefighters are still dealing with that aftermath of a massive fire in Lexington, the one that destroyed businesses and damaged several others at Bluegrass Stockyards.
Plus, that fire put out smoke that could be seen as far away as Louisville. We'll hear from fire crews about air quality concerns for people living near the scene.
New developments this morning in the death of a teenager at a Kentucky juvenile jail. We have the 911 call made from the facility after a worker discovered the unconscious teen.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. It's your Monday. Hope you had a nice weekend and you're ready to go as here we are in February. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rex Smith. Definitely doesn't feel like February.
I know. With that rain we have coming down this morning especially.
Yeah, it's pretty warm too.
Yes, it is. We're looking outside, sitting there with showers rolling across the region, and all that rain is going to be pushing through during the morning hours mainly, and then we'll start to see some cooler temperatures filter in back behind that. We're 45 in Lawrence, 52 in Frankfort, and you see Mountain Parkway, 53, still pretty wet there on the roads. So we get into the afternoon, not really rising or falling that much. 52, few showers, especially during the first half of the day. Second half of the day, it moves on out, and then we're dry until we get our severe weather chance later on tomorrow. I'm going to break down that timing coming up.
Okay, we'll see you then. Thank you. And let's get to the news here on this Monday morning. Firefighters remain at the scene of that fire that officials say caused the largest in Lexington in more than 30 years.
The Bluegrass Stockyards on Lyle Industrial Avenue caught fire Saturday afternoon. The flames destroyed the business, damaged several others, and killed at least 49 cattle. This morning, nearly 40 hours later, hot spots are still burning on the site. As investigators work to figure out what started the massive fire, the Kentucky Department of Environmental Protection keeping an eye on the air quality. Hillary Thornton talked to fire crews about the dangers the smoke brings with it.
The work has not stopped around the Bluegrass Stockyards as the Lexington Fire Department continues their efforts at the site, monitoring and putting out hot spots. They're also making sure those outside of the yellow tape living nearby are safe.
There was a lot of smoke and there was a lot of wind, and it did move it around quite a bit.
A heavy dark smoke filling the area. Neighbors describe the sunshine-filled afternoon sky turning as dark as night within minutes. Smoke that could be seen towns away, billowing from the city's worst fire in decades. It is no surprise that smoke is now having an impact on air quality.
We're seeing readings of a little bit higher particles that are in the air.
Fire officials say those air quality readings in surrounding neighborhoods are consistent with what they would expect to find following a fire of this magnitude.
It's normal for a fire of this size to produce this. We're not seeing anything out of the ordinary.
Now, as a much lighter smoke moves throughout the rubble, firefighters along with the Kentucky Department of Environmental Protection are keeping a close eye on those levels.
Make sure that it doesn't change. If it goes up, we're going to let anyone know if it should start to drop.
Meanwhile, asking folks within about a half-mile radius of the devastating fire, especially those with pre-existing or chronic respiratory illnesses, to follow some simple steps to protect yourselves.
Try to stay away if you can. If you don't need to travel down through there, just stay away. And for those, if you live in that area, just keep your door shut, keep your windows down, and just try to stay inside. That's the safest place to be right now.
In Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Well, all weekend, we've been hearing from people who said they made a lot of memories at Bluegrass Stockyards. As WKYT's Caitlin Sittner shows us, some who haven't visited the area in years came to see the damage for themselves.
Look, there's the steps right there. I remember sitting on those steps, eating candy, wait for the trucks to come down. They're here. I'd watch for them, holler for Dad, tell him he's better get to work.
For the first time in 10 years, Brittany Newby stepped onto the Bluegrass Stockyards grounds. It was a surreal sight for her, something that was hard to stomach.
Brittany refers to the Bluegrass Stockyards as her Disneyland when she was growing up, but these flashing lights and police tape are not at all close to what she remembers.
Nobody could understand why I wanted to come here so much.
From the time she was born until she turned 16, the Stockyards were her stomping grounds. She fancied the catwalk standing 9 to 10 feet above ground.
Running back and forth, but there was this one spot on the catwalk and it was like tilted, like it was tilted, it was unlevel. And it used to scare me, and I'd always stand like where it was level, and I would stand there and I would just think about, okay, I'm going to go across here, but I was always afraid it was going to fall through.
The catwalk is no longer. In fact, not much is left but rubble and lingering smoke.
It was a blessing from God, really, and that everyone could get out safe.
Bluegrass Stockyards says they will rebuild, but a part of Lexington's history was lost Saturday.
And even though that the building's gone and memories will stop being made here, you know, the ones that were already made will definitely be cherished.
In Lexington, Caitlin Setner, WKYT.
Well, owners are still discussing the details of the rebuilding process, but they already have temporary plans to keep business running. They've expanded sale dates at some of their other facilities. The COO says Mount Sterling will pick up Lexington sales starting at 8:30 this morning. One sale that was supposed to be in Lexington this week will now be held Thursday evening at 6:30 at their Richmond location.
As we mentioned earlier, flames and smoke from the Stockyards fire damaged 5 other neighboring businesses, and one of the businesses across the street from the Stockyards, Slim's Towing, had extensive damage. The owner there, Dwayne Harris, estimates the fire destroyed more than 100 cars on his lot. Harris tells us that several other towing businesses have stepped in to help him.
I've got my truck stored at Metro Towing right now, so they opened their doors. Bluegrass Towing, Lee Roberts called me. He said, if you need a truck, he said, I'll throw you a truck out there to help you going until you get things going.
While other businesses on Forbes Road were not damaged, they still had to deal with power outages. We've been following the story since it broke on Saturday. We'll continue very hard work to bring you new information all day long. Remember, you can keep track of all the updates on the massive fire on our website, WKYT.com, and on our WKYT News app.
Well, the Fayette County coroner has identified a woman killed in a crash in Lexington. The coroner says 45-year-old Gina Pritchett died in the wreck. Police think around 3 yesterday morning she lost control of her car and hit a pole near the intersection of Lane Allen and Harrodsburg Road. Funeral arrangements are still pending.
State police are still trying to figure out what caused the death of a teenager at a Hardin County Juvenile Detention Center. They found 16-year-old Gina McMillan dead earlier this month in her room at the Lincoln Village Regional Detention Center. McMillan had just arrived at that facility. Police say the day before she had had a fight with her mother, and a 911 call shows it took workers 11 minutes to start CPR after they found McMillan unresponsive.
Y'all have a CPR protocol, or do y'all need it?
I'm new. I can find out. I don't know.
That's fine. I'm getting everybody on the way there. I can talk somebody through CPR if need be.
No, you don't have to do that.
Okay. We'll get everybody on the way there.
A spokesperson for the Department of Juvenile Justice says a staff member used a martial arts technique to restrain McMillan several hours before her death. The state says they have also placed an employee on paid leave for failing to make all of the required checks.
Deputies in Jessamine County found a second teenager who'd been missing since last week. Deputies think 14-year-old Taylor Garland from Nicholasville and 16-year-old Alex Evans from Owensboro left town together. They found Garland Saturday night, but it wasn't until around 5:30 last night that they found Evans.
The time this morning on WKYT is 4:38, and there's a lot more news coming up. We're just getting started on your Monday.
Most unpaid caregivers are women who need a break. Moms Every Day has some more on this ahead.
We have the showers outside early this morning. It's going to be a wet start to the day. Once we approach the afternoon, that moves on out. And then our next chance at rain is tomorrow with that severe weather threat. And I'll have that coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Rain looking across the region, and it's pretty widespread this morning. This is going to be the bulk of the rain, and this is going to be the most widespread it is throughout the day. So wait until the afternoon and off into the evening. It'll be long gone. So here's your look across the region. Now, just coming on into work, I've picked up some light rain for the most part, but you'll get embedded pieces of rain as you look across the area there in Dunville, southern Casey County, coming out of Adair County and rolling northeastbound. So Somerset, you still got a ways to go as you look for a lot more of this down toward Bowling Green, heading your direction. Lexington, we're still in it with some light rain for the next few hours. And then you can see eastern zones. We have a long time before we call it quits with this system. But there's the front. It's 53 now in Lexington, 52 in Frankfort, 48 coming in at Fort Knox. Cooler air obviously back toward the west, northwest. milder air down toward the south and southeast. So it really does feel good if you're down in the southern half of our region. We're at 60 degrees now in London Corbin area. Monticello coming in at 61. Go off into Whitley City, Stearns, and also Williamsburg and Saxton. We're coming in around 60 degrees. Now we get into the afternoon and we'll drop those temperatures as that rain continues to push on through. It's going to drop. There by 8 a.m. we'll be roughly 50 to about 55 degrees. And by 4 p.m. anywhere from 52 to about 57 degrees. So it is a pretty decent day in terms of temperatures, and that rain will start to taper off once we get past that noon hour. I believe around here in Lexington, we'll be done with the rain before noon, and once we approach the afternoon, it's really for the southeastern zones. Off into the evening and night, it really does dry some things on out, and tomorrow actually will be a really, really nice day. Day, not night, but day, because then what we're looking for, those highs well above average, will be in the upper 60s tomorrow to around 70 degrees, and then strong to potentially severe storms slide on in. That is going to be during the evening and nighttime hours. I'd say west, anywhere from I-65 to through the BG Parkway. You're talking anywhere from 6 p.m. to about 8 or 9 p.m. And then here in Lexington, right around 8 to about 10 p.m. is when they move on in as of right now. So that's really something to watch out for as we get through tomorrow night off into Wednesday morning. So much of your day Tuesday looks dry. But then it's off into the evening and night, guys, that we start to see that rain move on in. And that'll drop those temperatures too, but not all that bad. I mean, you can see Thursday off into your weekend. It's pretty dry and actually above average. So we'll take that. Not all that bad. We just got to get through this round of storms as we head through tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. That's something to watch.
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll do that. We thank you, Mike. It's 4:44 right now. Many women are natural caregivers, but that doesn't mean it's easy.
Today's Moms Every Minute takes a look at why it's important to take a break.
Hi, today we're with Lisette Khalil from the Wisconsin Women's Health Foundation, and we're talking about an interesting topic, caregiving as a health issue. Not a lot of people look at it that way.
We see it as an important women's health issue.
And why is it a health issue?
Well, because 70% of caregivers are women, and we're talking about adults who are giving unpaid care to other people, whether it's a child or another adult.
And it can cause health problems.
Serious health problems, yes. It's caregivers, women caregivers are 6 times more likely to have depression or anxiety than non-caregivers. And also, as we know as moms, really impacts sleep and can impact our eating and obesity as well.
What are the solutions? What are some of the solutions?
There's no easy answer, of course, but one is to schedule breaks and just make it a part of the routine that both you and the individual you're caring for are accustomed to. And then doing things for ourselves without judgment or without guilt.
Taking time,
and then moving, whether it's exercising at the gym, taking a walk, just start to move and you'll start to feel better.
So important. Thank you.
For these tips and more, go to WKYT.com, click on Moms Every Day.
Time right now is 4:46 on your Monday morning. WKYT This Morning is coming right back.
In just a few hours, the Iowa caucuses will kick off the 2016 presidential election. We'll show you how the campaigns are scrambling to secure votes. Next on WKYT.
Good morning. 4:49 is our time on WKYT. It is down to the wire with the Iowa caucuses kicking off today and presidential candidates making a final push to try to get out in front of voters.
Steve Nanis reports.
This is your record crowd. Iowa offers only a small contingent of the delegates who will determine the presidential nominees, but a win would greatly increase momentum leading into the New Hampshire primary. A recent poll by the Des Moines Register and Bloomberg shows the Iowa choice for Democratic nominee among likely caucus goers is Hillary Clinton with 45% of the vote.
We've run a terrific campaign from the grassroots up. Of course, it's close, it's competitive. That's why I hope everybody who has decided to caucus for me will be sure to come out on Monday night.
Senator Sanders not far behind with 42%.
When we started this campaign here in Iowa, we were 50 or 60 points behind Secretary Clinton. We have come a long, long way. So I think if the turnout is high, Jake, I think we got a real shot to win this.
Donald Trump is leading the polls as the Iowa choice for Republican nominee. Surprisingly enough, he wasn't much of a target Sunday. Senators Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio were going after each other.
When Marco ran in Florida, he promised the men and women of Florida he would lead the fight against amnesty. In Texas, I promised the men and women of Texas I would lead the fight against amnesty. When we got to Washington, he and I made very different decisions. A vote for Marco is a vote for amnesty.
The two clashed over immigration during Thursday's debate, and while speaking on the road with CNN's Jake Tapper, the argument still hasn't died down.
And I've tried to fix a problem that's a very serious issue in Texas and in Florida, and it's a hard issue. And clearly, we're not going to be able to do it comprehensively, and we're not going to be able to do it until we first enforce our immigration laws. But I don't support amnesty.
In Des Moines, Iowa, I'm Steve Nannis reporting.
A winter storm has turned deadly in California, bringing powerful winds, heavy rains, and snow. Strong winds across Southern California downed trees and power poles and ripped off rooftops. Authorities say the driver of a car was struck and killed Sunday by a tree that fell across 4 lanes of traffic in Pacific Beach.
I was coming over the bridges, SeaWorld coming this way, and I heard a big crash, and my truck kind of like the whole ground just rumbled, and then I looked, I see this slowly coming down, and it crashed down, and like everything around there just shook like an earthquake. It was terrible.
A 25-car pileup also shut down Interstate 80 for several hours yesterday afternoon. More than 125,000 people are without power this morning. Well, we are now less than a week to the biggest matchup in football.
Here we go. Big week ahead. Super Bowl 50 is coming up this Sunday. Both the Carolina Panthers and the Denver Broncos have touched down in San Jose, California for the big game. And fans were on hand to greet their favorite players. The Broncos are playing for their 3rd Super Bowl championship, while the Panthers are seeking their 1st. You can watch Super Bowl 50. It'll be Sunday night right here on WKYT. It's going to be an exciting week.
Yeah, while everyone is looking forward to the big game, it was Cam Newton's pants that had Twitter abuzz over the weekend. The Panthers quarterback traded his Panthers pattern for a zebra theme. He arrived in San Jose donning black and white striped pants overlaid with an intricate gold pattern. Of course, Carolina's star quarterback is never afraid to do his own thing, so his fashion statement should probably come as no surprise. Very unique.
Well, I guess he can pull that off, right?
Yes, it looks great. Jet setting.
Coming up, we'll take a look at some of the stories that we're working on here on this Monday morning on WKYT.
Yeah, and we'll have another look at your forecast.
Hey, good morning and welcome back in. It's 4:56 right now with some rain in Lexington at WKYT.
Well, we hope your Monday's good all the same, right? Even though it's a little rainy. Time to take a look right now at some of the stories we're working on.
We're tracking a developing story right now in Lexington. Police are at the scene of a deadly accident. A truck slammed into a tree on Appian Way, not far from Mill Creek Elementary School. We are on that scene working to learn more about the person killed in the crash, how long that roadway will be shut down as well, and we'll bring you a live update coming up in our newscast starting here at 5, just minutes away.
We have continuing coverage this morning of a massive fire that gutted a Lexington business. The Bluegrass Stockyards just off Leestown Road caught fire Saturday afternoon. At least 49 cattle died in the fire. 5 neighboring businesses were damaged. We're live at the business this morning with more on how the owners and fire crews are moving forward today.
And of course, lots of stories about the Iowa caucuses later today and the Super Bowl later in the week, and that'll be throughout the morning. But we'll check in with weather.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Oh yeah, and then we're talking about severe weather tomorrow and off into Wednesday morning. So there's just a lot to talk about the next few days. Here's Defender Radar Network holding on to showers all across the region. Down the far south and southeast, you guys are not seeing the rain just yet, but it will work its way through as we go throughout the late morning hours off into the afternoon. But spanning out, check out what we're looking back toward the west. This stuff that you see in St. Louis, that actually stays and just kind of withers away. So here's the back edge of this, heading off into western portions of Kentucky. That means that most of this is going to fall during the morning hours. Then it pushes out as we taper our head through the afternoon off into the evening hours. Then tomorrow looks good, right? Tomorrow evening and night, not so much. I'm going to talk about this strong to severe weather threat heading off into tomorrow. The damaging winds will be the primary threat, but we're going to talk timing coming up. Another 2 hours of WKYT News.